History often highlights empires and conquests, but sometimes the greatest changes begin quietly, in the hearts of people. The story of Islam's spread is one such transformation. It started in 7th century Makkah, a small desert city, with a man named Muhammad, known for his honesty. He received revelations about one God, a message that challenged old beliefs and united Arabia within decades. Islam's expansion was remarkable, reaching Asia, Africa, and Europe at an unprecedented pace. But this journey wasn't just about battles, it was about a powerful idea. Early Muslims lived with honesty, compassion, and unity, drawing others to their way of life. People saw a new vision for society, one built on trust and meaning. The spread of Islam was often gradual, a process of learning and acceptance, not force. To understand this journey, we must look beyond maps and battles to the human connections that carried these ideas. Merchants, travelers, and neighbors shared more than goods. They shared beliefs and a new vision for community. This is the story of how faith traveled quietly, creating a global community that endures to this day. At Islam's core was a message of profound simplicity, belief in one God, Allah. This idea, called Tawheed, was revolutionary in a world of many idols and complex mythologies. It offered a direct personal connection to the Creator, empowering ordinary people. Islam taught that all people are equal before God, regardless of tribe, race, or status. This message gave dignity to the marginalized and hope to the oppressed. The 5 pillars, faith, prayer, charity, fasting, and pilgrimage, provided a clear practical structure for daily life. These practices fostered community, responsibility, and purpose. Islam's clarity and accessibility drew people from all walks of life. It answered deep questions about life and purpose, offering comfort and a firm foundation for individuals and communities. Ideas spread best through people, and the early Muslims' character was key. Muhammad was known as Al-Amin, the trustworthy, long before his prophethood. His honesty and integrity inspired trust, making people listen to his message. Early Muslims embodied these values in business and daily life. As merchants and travelers, their actions, fairness, kindness, respect, spoke louder than words. In societies used to corruption, this new code of conduct was striking. People became curious about the faith that inspired such behavior. Personal example proved more persuasive than sermons. The spread of Islam was a testament to the power of living by one's principles. Ancient trade routes like the Silk Road connected distant worlds, carrying not just goods, but ideas and beliefs. Muslim merchants became natural ambassadors for Islam, traveling from China to West Africa and Spain. They built communities, observed their faith, and conducted business with integrity. Local populations noticed their discipline and ethics. Through daily interactions, friendships formed, and conversations about faith began. Islam spread gradually, one relationship at a time. Impressed by the character of Muslim traders, some locals embraced the faith and shared it with their own communities. Islam took root across cultures, not as a foreign imposition, but as a faith willingly adopted and made their own. Islam offered a vision of social justice and universal brotherhood. The Quran and Prophet Muhammad condemned exploitation and called for a community where the poor and weak were protected. The concept of the Ummah united believers as equals, transcending race and status. Daily prayers and charity reinforced this equality and care for others. Zakat, the annual charity, ensured wealth was shared and the needy supported. When Islam spread to new regions, its fairer governance and religious tolerance attracted many. People saw a system that cared for them, making Islamic rule and the faith itself appealing. While history remembers battles, much of Islam's spread was peaceful. In Southeast Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa, it happened through scholars, mystics, and ordinary people living their faith. Sufis, Islamic mystics, emphasized love, devotion, and personal connection with God. They found common ground with local cultures, making Islam accessible and familiar. Conversion was often gradual, spreading through families and communities by example. People saw positive changes, honesty, charity, discipline, and became curious. Over generations, Islam blended with local traditions, creating vibrant new expressions of faith. The most lasting changes came from the quiet power of personal example and community. As Muslim communities grew, they built institutions to sustain and spread the faith. The mosque became a center for prayer, learning, and community life. Islam's emphasis on knowledge led to the founding of schools and great universities in cities like Baghdad, Cairo, and Cordoba. These centers preserved ancient knowledge and fostered new discoveries in science, medicine, and philosophy. Scholars traveled and taught, connecting the Muslim world through a shared pursuit of learning. This network unified diverse peoples and deepened Islamic understanding. The story of Islam's spread is ultimately one of human connection, trust, and a simple message that offered dignity and hope. It was carried by merchants, scholars, and neighbors through peaceful example and the timeless search for meaning and community. If you enjoyed this journey, please like, subscribe, and share to help us spread more stories of connection and discovery.